push record. And welcome everyone. We're here with the filmmaker from TheRecess. Naveed, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Navid Nikha Azad. I'm a film director from Iran. My latest film, TheRecess, which is inspired by true events, is an official selection in the Ojai Film Festival, which is absolutely a true honor for us. And we are very excited to hear your comments and reviews on our movie.
This is very exciting for us also. As I was telling you before we recorded, we had a beautiful selection of films from Iran this year. I think 12 or 13 films were selected. Out of only 78 total films made it into the screening, past the screening process. So that's a very high response from Iran for this. And they're all powerful, beautiful films. Yours especially. So we're very thankful that you all
We're
consider
honored.
us. Yeah. So what inspired you to make the film? I know it's based on real events, but why did you feel the passion to make a film?
Actually, when the tragedy happened, I mean the self-immolation of Sahar Khodayari, known as Blue Girl in Iran, I didn't react, you know, to the tragic situation. I was just trying to observe the whole situation, how people reacted to it, how the celebrities, the politicians, uh, and the uh, and the statesmen, and I realized that this person, I mean the Iranian blue girl, had no past. I mean, it was like she was born as a 28-year-old girl. So no one knew what happened to her before. She was 28 before the incident. So at that time, I was thinking that it was like, a, a, you know, a common story was fed to the news media organizations all around the world. Everyone around the world was telling the same story, you know, in details. So, I was, I started to think that I should make a movie and build up a past for this girl that no one knew about her past, no one knew who she was, who her family was, if she had any friends, boyfriends, or classmates. And we just know very, uh, I mean, small details about her life. Or maybe, we have like 2 or 3 pictures uh, in the web that we are not sure if this is the real Sar Khodayari, known as Blue Girl in Iran. So the important thing for me was to make a film which builds up a past for her, so we can know who she was. But our film is based on uh, is a fiction film. We wrote the script, and we did not relate to the real story. I mean the self-immolation, and but and in the caption at the beginning and ending of the movie, we say that this was inspired by this true story.
Were you able to find any of her friends or locations that might have been part of her life, or was it all completely your interpretation?
If you search through the web, there's like 2 or 3 pictures. There are statements from her sister, from her father, and just very small details. So I think I I never heard someone say, I was her boyfriend. I I went to I went to elementary school with her. We don't know really much about her past. So and I mean the main point for me was to make a past for her, but uh, I I even went to the place. I mean where she had committed self-immolation, but no one would give you information about this. Everyone says that, oh, I was in my car, or I didn't notice it. Yes, we saw her in flames, but we didn't run to it. We just stood and watched the whole thing. So this was, in my opinion, very strange.
It is,
Uh,
yes.
so I think we have, at the time of the tragedy, we have a story that was fed to the public, to these news media organizations. So I think we are not hearing part of the truth, or even the truth. And I'm not saying I'm telling the truth, but I'm saying that I made a movie about a person who had no past, and moreover, my film talks about the women's prohibition to attend the football public stadiums in Iran along with men. So even with the current situation in Iran, that in some football matches, women, a small percentage of women can attend the stadium. Even we are facing that limitation. It's not lifted. It exists and continues.
How are you able to finance, and how much restriction do you have when you're telling a story like this? Is there any interference, or is there support for the filmmaking effort?
No, my films and maybe myself is on a news blackout in Iran, in major news media organizations. Maybe like 3 or 4 news media organizations will publish the news relating TheRecess success in film festivals. You know, actually, no one really tried to talk to us why we made this film, what is this film about. Just I don't know, or in the major short film festival in Iran, it's called Tehran International Short Film Festival. I have submitted my film for 2 years, but because of the subject of my movie, they won't put it in the main competition. So I think my film and the subject of my movie is or is on a news blackout or news boycott in my own country. But I'm hopeful to be able to screen this story that talks about the women and girls' rights in Iran, to go on a screen in the theaters.
That's great. As before we started, I showed you a screen grab of the front page of the Tehran Times, And you are
Yes,
listed in the article. You are listed as one of the films showing in Ojai. So that's a little leak in the armor of protecting, keeping you from publicity. So congratulations to you.
thank you for having the recess in the festival. We're so honored, and maybe the audience uh, do not know about this, but we have had more than 60 international film selections,
That's great.
10, yes, 10 nominations and 7 awards.
That's
And
great.
I'm really honored because uh, our story is being heard by the major people in many film festivals, and it means that you know these people in the film festivals come from different cultures from ours, but it's really beautiful that they're interested in our story from Iran, and the recess is the story of hope, is the story of hope for a better future. We are not telling a bitter story.
Hmm. That's very clear. Yes. I think you achieved that. That's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
idea. What would you say is your some of your influences in your filmmaking and artistic career? Are there particular artists or directors or actors or politicians that have influenced you and given you this voice and this passion?
You know, my father is an established film producer and director in Iran, known for children and youth films. But there are certain icons that I really love, like Abbas Kiarostami, the late Abbas Kiarostami, the late Krzysztof Kieslowski, and our current icon Asghar Farhadi. I, I I really love these people, but and in the politician I really like Noam Chomsky in the U.S., and he's a great man. And but you know I want to say that we can't really say that there are certain people that we find we owe the success in our works from them. I think we live a life like, I don't know, 40 years. There are a lot of experiences happen uh, in our lifespan, and all these will influence how we look at an issue. For example, in the recess, I always think that the main character called Sahar, it is just myself,
Mm,
because uh, at that time I think I wanted to feel that courage. I wanted to feel that bravery.
mhm,
So I think uh, when in real life Sahar self-immolated, it was for a big purpose, for a big
right.
goal. So I think I had to make this film to, maybe get out of the skin that I didn't like.
Mhm,
So I think every filmmaker try to depict, what maybe is a problem in their own life, or I uh, I noticed that it is somehow a psychological recovery for a filmmaker.
hmm.
So that is the case for me as well.
It's a very brave path you've taken with this movie, and I suspect many of your movies. Knowing your father has been in the industry, you had probably some insights to what it would be. And I'm wondering, now that you have made these films, and this one in particular, have you learned anything that you would want to tell a young filmmaker, or yourself if you were 15 years old, about how to get going on the path without making as many mistakes or as much delay? And what
You
advice
know,
could you give?
yeah, my father has always been a great supporter. My father, my family. But at some time, I started to work as assistant film director, film editor, with my father. My father was also an editor, and when he made movies, I would work as an assistant, as an operator. So in this process, I learned many things. Or in life, he's also a poet. So in the last year, I noticed that there are many things that I do not know. So I try to learn things. But the main advice that I can have for the young filmmakers is that I think we should always observe. We should always observe the life around us. We should also observe ourselves, and without any judgment.
Mm,
But I think that observation can really help us to achieve our goals. For example, if we observe how we live our life, how we behave with around us, after some time there is a pattern. There will be a pattern that we know. Okay, I this behavior that I have is not a good one. Or I think the main keyword is that observation.
mm,
And I think we should make mistakes. We should always make mistakes, because maybe someone tries to live a life, but has not made any mistakes. You know, but I think the life of a person that makes that they always make mistake, um, uh, has a greater value for me, because they have tried to do something and made a mistake, and they learn from their mistakes. So
exactly.
I think that we should not be afraid of our mistakes. We should do it.
That's very smart. I totally agree. My last question, what is next? What do you have on your agenda? Are you already in production or post or in planning of any new ideas?
um, I think, after a work of art is, receive a great receptions, receive success, it's really horrifying to start the next work, because you always think that, okay, maybe the next work won't be as successful as this one. And I'm trying to um, have a distance from the recess, so I won't repeat myself. But there are some ideas that, I one day uh, I start thinking, no, this is the one, and the next day I would put it aside. um, and but now, again, I'm trying to observe the environment, the society environment around me, so I can maybe pick up the right issue and see how close I will be to that issue.
Nice. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to your audience before we say goodbye?
um, I'm really honored, and I really thank you for watching The Recess. The Recess is a short film which talks about women's rights and human rights. and gender discrimination in Iranian society. If you like the movie, um, I would like to ask you to share the story, to share your experience of watching it with your friends, your family, and whoever you might know that watching this film may can make a difference in their life. Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I know our audience will enjoy this, and we hope to see more films from you in the future.
Thank you.
And